Have you ever felt lost, alone, or disconnected from everything you once believed in? If so, you might be experiencing what's known as the dark night of the soul. This profound spiritual crisis can shake the very foundations of our being, leaving us feeling adrift in a sea of uncertainty. But don't worry, you're not alone, and there's hope on the horizon. In this video, we'll dive deep into the concept of the dark night of the soul, exploring what it means, why it happens, and how to navigate through this challenging period. We'll uncover the signs that indicate you might be going through a spiritual crisis, dispel common misconceptions, and provide practical strategies for coping and growing through this experience. The dark night of the soul is a term that originated with 16th century mystic and poet Saint John of the Cross. It describes a period of intense spiritual questioning and inner turmoil. During this time, people often feel as if they've lost their connection to the divine or to their sense of purpose in life. It's a phase of deep, soul-searching and spiritual transformation that can be both painful and enlightening. Many people who go through this experience report feeling empty, numb, or disconnected from their usual sources of joy and meaning. They may question long-held beliefs and struggle to find purpose in their daily activities. It's important to understand that these feelings, while difficult, are not signs of failure or weakness. Instead, they're indicators of a profound spiritual shift taking place within you. The purpose of spiritual challenges like the dark night of the soul is often misunderstood. Many people see it as a purely negative experience, something to be avoided or quickly overcome. However, this perspective misses the potential for growth and transformation that lies at the heart of the experience. The dark night of the soul serves as a catalyst for personal and spiritual evolution, pushing us to shed old patterns and beliefs that no longer serve us. It's crucial to distinguish the dark night of the soul from clinical depression or other mental health issues. While there may be some overlapping symptoms, the dark night of the soul is fundamentally a spiritual experience rather than a mental health condition. It's not a punishment for past actions or a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's a natural part of the spiritual growth process for many people. The dark night of the soul typically unfolds in several stages. Initially, you might experience a sense of doubt and confusion about your beliefs and your place in the world. This can then progress to a period of intense emotional turmoil where you may feel overwhelmed by feelings of sadness, anger, or fear. Many people then reach a point where they feel stuck or trapped, unable to move forward or back to their old ways of thinking and being. The final stage involves a gradual acceptance and surrender to the process, which often leads to profound insights and personal growth. During this challenging time, it's essential to prioritize self-care. This might involve practices like meditation, journaling, or spending time in nature. It's also important to seek support from others who understand what you're going through. This could be friends, family members, or a spiritual mentor. Don't be afraid to explore new spiritual paths or practices during this time. Often, the dark night of the soul leads us to discover new ways of connecting with the divine or understanding our place in the universe. As you move through the dark night of the soul, you may begin to notice signs of progress and healing. These can include moments of clarity or insight, a renewed sense of purpose, or a deeper connection to yourself and others. You might find that you've gained new perspectives on life and your role in it. These are all positive indicators that you're moving through the experience and emerging stronger on the other side. One of the most valuable aspects of going through the dark night of the soul is the opportunity to integrate the lessons learned into your daily life. This process of integration allows you to build a stronger spiritual foundation, one that's based on your direct experiences rather than inherited beliefs or second-hand knowledge. You may find that you're more resilient in the face of future challenges, better able to weather the ups and downs of life with grace and equanimity. As you move forward from this experience, you'll likely find that you have a newfound capacity to help others who are going through similar spiritual crises. Your first-hand knowledge of the dark night of the soul can be a beacon of hope for those who are just beginning their journey. By sharing your experiences and the wisdom you've gained, you can contribute to a broader understanding of this important spiritual phenomenon. The dark night of the soul is a period of intense spiritual questioning and growth. It's characterized by feelings of emptiness, doubt, and disconnection. While challenging, this experience serves a vital purpose in our spiritual evolution, helping us shed outdated beliefs and patterns. It's important to distinguish it from mental health issues and to understand that it's not a punishment or a sign of failure. The dark night of the soul typically progresses through stages of doubt, emotional turmoil, feeling stuck, and eventual acceptance. During this time, self-care and seeking support are crucial. As you move through the experience, you may notice signs of progress and healing, gaining new insights and perspectives along the way. Integrating the lessons learned from the dark night of the soul allows you to build a stronger spiritual foundation and develop greater resilience. This experience can also equip you to help others who are going through similar challenges. If you're currently experiencing the dark night of the soul, you're not alone. This challenging period, while difficult, holds the potential for profound personal and spiritual growth. Trust in the process, take care of yourself, and know that there is light waiting for you on the other side of this dark night. The concept of the dark night of the soul has deep roots in various spiritual and mystical traditions. While it was popularized by St. John of the Cross, similar ideas can be found in many cultures and belief systems around the world. This universality speaks to the fundamental nature of this experience in human spiritual development. In essence, the dark night of the soul represents a process of spiritual purification and growth. It's a time when our old ways of understanding ourselves and the world around us are stripped away, leaving us feeling vulnerable and uncertain. This stripping away is necessary to make room for new, more authentic ways of being and perceiving. One of the most challenging aspects of the dark night of the soul is the feeling of divine absence or abandonment. Many people report feeling as if God, or whatever higher power they believe in, has suddenly gone silent or disappeared entirely. This can be incredibly distressing, especially for those who have previously felt a strong connection to the divine. However, it's important to understand that this feeling of absence is an illusion. In reality, this perceived distance is often a necessary part of spiritual growth. It pushes us to move beyond superficial or dependent relationships with the divine and to discover a deeper, more mature spiritual connection. During the dark night of the soul, many people find that their usual spiritual practices no longer bring them comfort or feel meaningful. This can be particularly distressing, as these practices may have been a source of solace and stability for many years. If you're experiencing this, know that it's a common and normal part of the process. This apparent loss of efficacy in spiritual practices doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong or that you've somehow failed spiritually. Instead, it's often a sign that you're being called to a deeper level of spiritual practice and understanding. This might involve exploring new forms of spirituality or finding new ways to engage with your existing practices. One of the most profound effects of the dark night of the soul is how it impacts our sense of self. Many people find that their understanding of who they are is fundamentally shaken during this time. The roles, identities, and beliefs that once defined us may suddenly feel hollow or irrelevant. This dissolution of identity, while frightening, is actually a crucial part of the spiritual growth process. It creates space for a more authentic sense of self to emerge, one that's less bound by societal expectations or inherited beliefs, and more aligned with our true nature and purpose. As you navigate through the dark night of the soul, you may find yourself grappling with existential questions about the nature of reality, the purpose of life, and your place in the universe. These deep philosophical and spiritual inquiries are a natural part of the process and can lead to profound insights and personal growth. It's important to approach these questions with an open mind and heart. Don't feel pressured to find immediate or definitive answers. Often, the process of questioning and exploring is just as valuable as any conclusions you might reach. One of the most challenging aspects of the dark night of the soul is learning to sit with uncertainty and discomfort. In our daily lives, we often go to great lengths to avoid feelings of uncertainty or discomfort. We seek out distractions, cling to familiar routines, or try to control our environment to maintain a sense of stability. However, during the dark night of the soul, these avoidance strategies often stop working. We're forced to confront our deepest fears and insecurities head-on. While this can be incredibly uncomfortable, it's also an opportunity for profound growth and self-discovery. Learning to be present with difficult emotions and experiences without trying to change or escape them is a valuable skill. It can lead to greater emotional resilience and a deeper sense of inner peace. This doesn't mean you have to suffer unnecessarily, but rather that you learn to approach challenging experiences with a sense of curiosity and openness rather than fear or resistance. As you move through the dark night of the soul, you may find that your relationships with others begin to change. Some friendships or connections that once felt important may start to feel superficial or unsatisfying. At the same time, you might discover deeper connections with people who understand or share your spiritual journey. This shift in relationships is a natural part of the growth process. As you change and evolve internally, your external world often shifts to reflect this inner transformation. While it can be painful to outgrow certain relationships, it's important to remember that this creates space for new, more aligned connections to enter your life. One of the most valuable outcomes of the dark night of the soul is the development of greater compassion and empathy. As you navigate your own spiritual crisis, you may find that you become more attuned to the suffering of others. You might develop a deeper understanding of the human experience and a greater capacity to connect with others on a heart level. This increased empathy can be a powerful force for good in your life and in the world. It can lead to more meaningful relationships, a stronger sense of connection to humanity as a whole, and a desire to contribute positively to the world around you. As you emerge from the dark night of the soul, you may find that your priorities and values have shifted. Things that once seemed incredibly important might now feel trivial, while aspects of life you previously overlooked may take on new significance. This shift in values is a natural outcome of the deep soul-searching that occurs during the dark night of the soul. It's an opportunity to align your life more closely with your authentic self and your deepest truths. This might involve making significant life changes, such as changing careers, ending or beginning relationships, or relocating to a new place. While these changes can be scary, they're often necessary for continued growth and fulfillment. Trust in the wisdom you've gained through your experiences and have the courage to follow where it leads you. One of the most beautiful aspects of the dark night of the soul is the potential for a renewed sense of wonder and awe at the world around us. As we shed our old beliefs and ways of seeing, we often discover a fresh perspective on life. Things that we once took for granted or overlooked can suddenly appear miraculous and filled with beauty. This renewed sense of wonder can bring a childlike joy and excitement back into our lives. It can help us appreciate the simple pleasures of existence and find meaning in the everyday moments of our lives. As you continue to process and integrate your experiences from the dark night of the soul, it's important to be patient and gentle with yourself. This kind of deep, spiritual transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process that unfolds over time. You may have moments of profound insight and clarity, followed by periods of confusion or doubt. This back and forth is normal and doesn't mean you're regressing or doing anything wrong. Trust in the process and continue to move forward, even if progress feels slow at times. One powerful way to support your ongoing growth and integration is through creative expression. Whether it's through writing, art, music, dance, or any other form of creativity, expressing your experiences and insights can be deeply healing and enlightening. Creative expression allows you to externalize your inner experiences, giving form to thoughts and feelings that might be difficult to articulate in everyday language. It can also help you process and make sense of your experiences, leading to new insights and understandings. Don't worry about creating polished or perfect works of art. The value is in the process of creation itself, not in the final product. Allow yourself to express freely without judgment or self-criticism. As you move forward from the dark night of the soul, you may feel called to share your experiences and insights with others. This could involve speaking openly about your journey, mentoring others who are going through similar experiences, or incorporating your insights into your work or daily life in some way. Sharing your story can be incredibly powerful, both for you and for those who hear it. It can help others feel less alone in their own spiritual struggles and provide hope and guidance for those who are in the midst of their own dark night of the soul. Remember, though, that you're not obligated to share more than you're comfortable with. Honor your own boundaries and share only what feels right and authentic to you. While challenging is ultimately a gift, it's an opportunity for profound spiritual growth and self-discovery. It pushes us to question our assumptions, shed outdated beliefs, and emerge with a deeper, more authentic understanding of ourselves and our place in the universe. If you're currently in the midst of your own dark night of the soul, know that you're not alone. Many have walked this path before you, and many will follow after. Trust in the process, take care of yourself, and know that there is light and growth waiting for you on the other side of this experience. The dark night of the soul is not about reaching a final destination or achieving some perfect state of enlightenment. It's about the journey itself, the growth, the insights, and the transformation that occurs along the way. Each step forward, no matter how small it might seem, is a victory worth celebrating. As you continue on your spiritual journey, whether you're in the midst of the dark night of the soul or reflecting on past experiences, may you find the strength, courage, and wisdom to navigate whatever challenges come your way. May you emerge from your dark night with a renewed sense of purpose, a deeper connection to your authentic self, and a greater capacity for love, compassion, and joy. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the dark night of the soul. May your journey be filled with growth, insight, and transformation. Remember, even in the darkest of nights, the light of dawn is always on its way.